Hello, welcome back to the video. In the previous video, we talked about how to use decorators and I showed you how to create a decorator function. Okay, and we decorated the fib function. So this was the code in the previous lecture. Okay, if you haven't seen the video yet, you can check the playlist. Okay, so in this video I am going to show you this same thing, this same process of creating a decorator but in a different way. We are going to create a decorator using class. Okay, so this is a very important concept. So this is the Fibonacci function, and I have copied it and pasted it from this file. Okay, in the previous video I have explained this function too, so I would not be going to explain this again in this video. Okay, so if you are not familiar with this function, you could check the previous video. Okay, so let us create a class. Okay, let us create a decorator class, and this is very important. Okay, and we are going to create a call method in it. Okay, we are going to create a call method in it, and this call method would take a variable number of arguments and keyword arguments. Okay, in this we are going to be using this class as a decorator to our function. Okay, so let us initialize this class. So let us initialize this class with function. Okay, self dot function. Okay, and we are going to use this function inside this call. Okay, inside this dunder call here. So let me first code this and then I will explain what this whole thing is doing. Okay, so we are going to be creating a cache for this. Okay, so the results of this would get printed to the console faster. Okay, so we are going to be storing all the data that this function produces in a cache. Okay, and we are going to do this with the help of this decorator class. So we are going to create a self.cache variable here. Okay, and this is a dictionary. After this we are going to be creating a result variable, and we are going to be storing the value of the data that this function produces. Okay, so and we are going to return the result. Okay, so now let us add the logic. If args in cache, then we are going to return cache, then we are going to return self dot cache args. Okay, this would be self dot cache. Okay, else what we are going to do? Else we are going to be inserting the data that this function produces into the cache, and we would use the args as the key. Okay, so cache, and we are going to use the args as the key, args as the key, and we are going to be saving the result in here. Okay, so we are going to be saving the result in here, and this would be self dot cache. Okay, should be self dot cache. Okay, So now this is complete, and we can use this to decorate this function. Okay, so the syntax is like this: at, then decorator. Okay, so to know whether this decorator is working or not, we are going to have some print statements here. Okay, so we are going to print the cache, print the objects that are present in the cache. Okay, let us run this. So fib of number 7. Okay, so fib of number 7, we are not seeing the result, so we are going to print it. We are going to print this. Okay, so fib of number 7 is 13, which is correct. So this is working correctly. So what is happening behind the scenes? So how this is working? So this is a decorator, and we have created it using a class. Okay, so this is a class based thing. Okay, and this function is the one that we are trying to wrap. Okay, so as I have told in the previous video, that a decorator create a wrap around a function, and it tries to modify or extend the capabilities of a code. So without touching its original code base, you can extend or you can modify the existing capabilities of a code base. Okay, so decorators are very powerful. Okay, so now this decorator class has a call method in it. Okay, and this call method takes variable number of arguments and keyword arguments. Okay, so let us see now the type of this function. You would find something interesting here. Let us check the type of this function fib. Okay, so as you can see, the type of this function is decorator. So it's behaving like an object of this class decorator. Okay, so it's behaving like an object of this class decorator, and if we call the fib, if we try to call the dunder call over this fib, you can see that this is using the call method of decorator. Okay, so what is happening behind the scene is that once we call this function, Python knows that it is being decorated by this class. Okay, this class decorator here. So it calls the function inside this decorator class. Okay, so it calls this dunder call, and it finds all the arguments, and it finds all the print statements and other things that we have just coded here. It finds all those stuff. Okay, and it execute all these. Okay, so it's like that. If you have any questions related to it, and if you didn't understand this concept clearly, you can ask me, or you can write it in the comment section. Okay, and I would try to answer your queries. Okay, so this is a very important concept in programming. Okay, and this is a very important concept in programming, and there are certain more ways, and there are more ways to do this same thing. Okay, and I would try to cover all of them. So I would meet you in the next lecture.